So, we're here to talk about, guys, the last two parts to Sex Pistols Appears, parts 5 and 6, which I believe are probably chapters 27 and 28. Could be wrong, that's what I think. And to be completely honest, I have had no fucking idea what was going to happen this chapter. Part of the issue is that Kraftwerk can stop Mista's bullets before they even hit him, and Mista kind of gets screwed in this chapter. There's a part where he has 4 bullets and it's completely unlucky, right? He seems to have the upper hand, but he really doesn't. The guy's using, like, locking rocks into place and climbing on them to get to Mista. Mista's trying to get away to regroup with Giorno. He doesn't have any bullets. He dropped all of his bullets. He's only got 4 shots, which is the worst because the number 4 is unlucky to him. And so he's freaking the fuck out. He ends up... So Kraftwerk, or the guy, Kraftwerk stand user, I can't remember his name, he reveals part of what he can do with his stand, which is when he has one of the bullets that Mista shot towards him, if he applies pressure to it very slowly, when he releases it from its immobile locked stasis thing, the bullets will shoot like they would normally being fired by a gun, and Mista ends up getting fucked. And then with one shot, he does this whole... it's so funny, he does this, like, trick thing where he shoots it aiming for the mouth, thinking that maybe he let his guard, because he did a thing earlier to let the other guy's guard down by being like, hey, I only got 1 bullet, buddy. And so he shoots in the mouth, but he's able to lock it. And so he's like, oh, Mista, get fucked. But then because he let his guard down, all of the little Sex Pistol dudes were able to climb on the bullet that he was giving momentum, giving, like, energy behind. And so when the bullet was shot out, all the Sex Pistols, like, kicked it back towards him. But the thing that's really interesting is that I don't know if it's just his incredible luck or if it was Sex Pistols' plan the whole time, but the bullet splits in 2, and half the bullet hits Kraftwerk like he expected, and the other half of the bullet hits the spot in his head that was already shot at, knocking the bullet already in his head further back, landing in his brain, I guess further into his head, possibly into his brain, but he's still not dead. I don't know what they're gonna do. The next chapter, maybe they'll interrogate him. I'm not sure, because it's not like he knows anything about Pol Pot's treasure. Maybe they can ask him, like, oh, where'd you hear about the hidden treasure ship? But other than that, I don't know why they would need to keep him alive. But that's unclear. Maybe I'm just not thinking far ahead enough for that. But Mista's stand, I feel like, could be kind of overpowered in some ways, if only in the sense that he has essentially 6 little dudes to continuously ricochet bullets. And that's actually, in my opinion, I feel like that's actually very powerful. Maybe I just don't know how stands work, or at the very least I don't know all the stuff that happens with later Jojo, so I don't know later stands, but I feel like that's actually kind of like OP for right now. I mean, I assume that's why they're saying, like, if Mista's the assassin with Sex Pistols on his side, that they're sure to win, and I'm assuming that's because, well, Mista's Sex Pistols are kind of super fucking OP for some reason. What the fuck? And I don't know, I can't say I was in love with this set of chapters. I really do enjoy Sex Pistols, but I felt like the beginning was very slow, and it took several chapters to really, like, get into what was going to happen. And I can't say I'm necessarily a fan of that. And I also didn't really care for Kraftwerk or the stand user, which I can't even remember the name of. Although I did tell my boyfriend about it, and he was explaining why the ability actually makes a lot of sense based on Kraftwerk and what they've been doing with their, like, an album they made or something like that. He was very into explaining to me why that actually makes a ton of sense. I'm glad he enjoyed that. But I wasn't really, like, Kraftwerk's ability is very interesting, and I like how they utilize it. Not just it's like, oh, they lock people in place, but he can lock rocks in place and then use them as a ladder almost. He can lock bullets in place, and then adding energy and momentum and everything, he can just shoot the bullets out like they were from a gun once he releases them from his lock. I like the idea of using that, but I can't necessarily say that I loved it as a whole. I felt like it could get very boring with nothing really happening besides Mista taking shots. I mean, it was supposed to showcase Sex Pistols and what Sex Pistols can do, so at the very least, you gotta give it that. But I can't really say I was overall super impressed by what happened in these sets of chapters, this arc as a whole. I do think Sex Pistols was really cool, but I don't really think it was anything super special, at least not against Kraftwerk. It didn't. I felt like it showcased like what it could do, but it really didn't showcase what it was capable of fully. I mean, I guess they shouldn't. It is like the first time it's really been introduced, but I don't know. I think I was just kind of hoping for a little bit more, but it is what it is. We're still in the early parts of part 5. We'll see what happens. I forget what the next part is, but I'll be back with another episode, chapter to review, soon enough, whatever. Probably be uploading a bunch of these, one right after the other. But let me know what you thought about Mista's whole Sex Pistols arc as a whole and the fight against Kraftwerk. If you read that, let me know what you thought of that in the comments below, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.